What's up, everybody? It's Vito from Perfect Storm and Alan, also from Perfect Storm.
Hello.
Today we are reviewing, well, Alan, please tell me what this bad boy is right here. This thing looks magnificent.
This is a virtual pinball machine.
Not only is it a virtual pinball machine, but it is a high-end virtual pinball machine.
Yes, it is.
Alan, if you don't mind me asking about how much did you pay for this virtual pinball machine and where did you get it from?
Before delivery, I paid $13,400.
I don't know where it felt like it.
And I purchased it from a company in Pennsylvania called Lab Arcades.
Now, I'm not, for those of our viewers that are not too familiar with virtual pinball machines, roundabout, you know, what are the prices of, because 13,600 sounds like a lot to me. So you shopped around.
Yes.
So what were the prices that you were looking for virtual pinball machines, and, you know, what made you spend, that's top dollar. So what made you spend top dollar on this particular, like what made you go with Lab Arcades?
Yeah, so I was shopping around and I went to different places, looked at Rec Room World, even looked at, you know, XGC and others, and ranges of prices were around, you know, at the lower side for a premium V-Pin around 7,000, 8,000.
70?
7,000 to 8,000.
7,000 to 8,000.
All the way to, you know, 10,000. So 7,000, 8,000 to 10,000 was the kind of the range.
Rec Room World's price point is about 10,000, right?
Yeah.
With the OLED?
With the OLED, yeah, maybe a little bit hair above now with the OLED. I did see Lab Arcades, and I saw some really cool features in terms of real pinball parts, like the bumpers and such were inside.
Which sounds great. I mean, who wouldn't want real pinball?
Yeah, and I think, like you were saying before, you know, you wanted to get the best you could. You know, you just want to get it once, and you want to get the best,
the best
highest quality, you know, you can get. You know, if you have the money and you could swing it. So that's what brought me to Lab Arcades.
Okay, and what made you use him specifically? Like, what was he offering differently than other companies? Because first of all, how long ago did you purchase this? When did you actually jump in? Because we've been friends for going on 2 years now?
Yeah.
Or more?
Yeah. So I purchased this in, I would say, the end of June of 2023.
Okay. And it is now, what's the date?
We're in May 1st, 2025.
Okay, so literally 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
So did he just deliver this last week to yesterday?
Yeah.
When did you actually get this?
So I got delivery in October of 2024.
So October 2024, and did it live up to all of the hype that does it have everything in it that you wanted? Did it come, because to let people know at home, virtual pinball machines, you think, well, why is it so much money? What's the big deal about it? There's so much that go into these things, and you can't just have low-end parts. You have to have the best of the best to make it look seamless, because this thing is gonna look like an actual Stern pinball table, which is what you were going for, correct?
Yep.
So, I mean, the ball looks real. It has reflections on it. It has the knockers that go up and down the table. This thing really, really looks and feels and plays and sounds like an actual true pinball machine with thousands of tables on it, or hundreds of tables, which is pretty cool. And to have that happen, like to have the ball roll here, roll there, bounce here, bounce there, and to make it look seamless, you have to have the best PC parts. You have to have the best TV. This is an OLED, correct?
That's right.
This is an OLED, so top-notch TV, 43-inch OLED, right?
Yep.
43-inch OLED, so that's like, this isn't just a regular monitor. This is a $1,000 television sitting here, basically, with, you know, it just looks vivid and crazy. I'm hoping that it shows on the camera as great as it looks. The machine does look fantastic. Did it live up to the hype for you?
So I guess maybe starting from the positives, you know, good wood, you know, nice birch plywood,
which is what you're supposed to make it look like.
You know, I like the fact that it's edge to edge in terms of the monitor. There's no gap between the side rails and the screen. And then I like the, you know, what it was able to do with the side rails in terms of the Star Wars style. However, there was issues in terms of, you know, when I set out to order it, a build specification sheet was established, basically saying, hey, these are the parts I'm going to put in your order. And when I actually came delivery of this, certain parts were not in the machine that were in the build spec sheets.
What do you mean by certain parts?
So one was the graphics card.
Sorry, just freaking
yeah, exactly. I know, it's mesmerizing. You're gonna fall into the screen.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So for number one, the graphics card, the build specification had a I believe it was a 4060 Ti.
Right.
And what actually was included was, as a graphics card, what actually was included was a 3070 Ti. And in terms of RAM, the build specifications had 32 gigabytes of RAM. What was included here was about it was 16 gigabytes.
16 gigabytes. But there's another issue. Your motherboard
Yes.
is wrong, correct?
Yes.
You were supposed to get DDR5, not DDR4
Yeah,
RAM.
per the build specs, that's right.
Right. And anybody who knows PCs knows that there's a difference between DDR4 and DDR5. There's a difference between that particular motherboard and the one that he got. And there's a huge difference between the two cards. The TI 4060 is a great card. Hard to get right now. Actually, I think you can't get it right now because of the tariffs and all the other stuff going on.
Yeah.
They're pushing more for the 5070s.
The 5 series, yeah.
Yeah, for the 5 series. So you didn't get those three things.
Yep.
Did he at least tell you?
No. So when I actually discovered after the fact, so I say, oh, let me take a look at the hardware. Let me go in the system and check. So I checked the graphics card, and it revealed
right.
The 3070 Ti. I checked the RAM. It revealed the 16 gigabytes.
So half the amount of RAM.
So I did some investigation into the hardware on this and found those discrepancies.
Okay, so I'm assuming that after you found the discrepancies, you immediately reached out to Patrick,
I did.
correct? At
Yeah.
Lab Arcade, you
Yeah.
reached out to him. Was he receptive? Was it positive? Was it negative? What was the back and forth? Did he offer to say, "Hey, I'm sorry. Let me make it right for you"?
Yeah, initially it was kind of a justifying, well, these were the costs of the parts, and they were the higher level parts were more expensive. But I said, Patrick, this was in the build specs, and per my estimates, these parts were available. So I think there was an attempt to not to kind of justify the discrepancies, but then he did say he would correct that.
Okay. Has he?
He has not.
Okay. When did he say he would correct this? When did you contact him about the things being off? Was it immediate?
Yeah, I would say maybe in the weeks after, so in the November time frame.
Right.
And then we had a communication in December saying that he would, by the end of January, come over and committed to make the fixes and put in the parts that were per the build specs. And now May 1st,
So what
has not done that.
Right. And have you reached out to him? I'm going to assume that you've reached out to him
Yes.
over the last 5 months, 5+ months.
Yes.
For this. What was the response?
Either no response or saying it's going to be, next month, that kind of delaying.
Right.
But still nothing's done.
Because we were supposed to do this virtual pinball review, what was it, 9 months ago? How many months is it? That's 5, 6,
Yeah.
7, 8, 9 months ago. So
Sure.
almost a year ago.
Yeah.
We were supposed to do this. We did film something, but we've scrapped it. We wanted to start over fresh and give it a fresh viewpoint. So that's what we're doing today. So since then, he hasn't reached out. He hasn't fixed it or made it right, which is the reason why it's been so delayed for us to make this video, because I was giving him the time to fix it and make it right. I wanted this to be a retribution. This isn't going to be me kicking his back end. I'm going to review what's here, what's not here, everything else. From a distance, the virtual pinball machine looks phenomenal. It truly does. When you start digging deep in, you have the issues. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. I'm going to go over a few of the issues as we go through the video. I'm going to do top to bottom of this review. So let's get that kicked in. Okay. All right, Alan, so to recap, you paid a premium price and you got basically mid-tier parts. And this is what we're working with. So we're going to start from the top of the, what is this called?
The back box.
The back box. Okay, so this is the back box. And as you can see here, you've got nice trim right here. And then unfortunately, this is just open, barefaced wood, which I think looks terrible. There should have been trim here or some type of masking, not colored it with marker, because that just looks really shoddy and it's very, very visible that it's marker and wood. Okay. So we got the back box monitor here. Now these are two separate monitors, correct?
That's right.
Perfect. Were there any issues with the monitors? Everything plays fine. Is there anything default with it?
Yeah, so the top monitor there, which is called the backglass monitor, I noticed probably the next day or two after delivery that a black vertical line developed, and it would kind of appear after like a minute after I turned it on. Exactly, right around there, yeah. Okay. You may be able to see it. It's kind of faint in the video, but
because this was laid down onto the screen.
Yeah, it could have during the transport here.
Well, for sure it did.
Moving around.
You've colored them in, correct?
Yeah.
So there were two marks, like one here and one here, and they line up exactly with this and this part here, and it just, I guess from the drive, you know, things shift while you're driving.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he, you know, didn't put as much padding maybe as he should have, and it really caused an issue. Other issues, again, like I saw, is here, the trim. This should be finished trim in my opinion, okay? So we've got the metal here, which is really cool. You did a lot of metal work on this thing,
Yep.
right? A lot of custom metal work you had, basically, which is really cool, this little plate. Now, what's a representation of this plate?
That's called a, you know, pinball machines have like a identifier plaque that usually tells a little bit about the
Well, Stern pinball machine.
yeah, like Stern, yeah, exactly, or others too. Tells a little bit about the pinball machine, like if it's a premium or what number. Usually, you know, pinball machines are made in limited quantity. It'll say number 10 of 100
Right,
or
yeah,
something like that.
one of 30, one of 50.
So there's this cool
this
guy
is
in
pretty cool.
France. I actually bought that separately after I got the V pin. It's called from a place called Petit Plaque.
I love it, man.
And yeah, you put it in there.
Wow, that's great. That's really
Yeah.
very custom. And it's very custom to you, and it's very, you know, significant
Yeah.
to your family, which I think is
Yeah,
beautiful. And it's Star Wars.
Exactly.
And for those who do know, I love Star Wars a little bit. Then there's other features here that were, again, really? There's other features here that were incorrect. As you see, actually it's perfect. It just did the light coming up, but you originally wanted the light to be here, and you wanted the chaser light to be here, which would have looked phenomenal. Now this
Yeah.
looks great, but he wasn't able to do it. Did he tell you he wasn't going to be able to do it?
No, he did not.
He just kind of brought it here and
Just kind of did it.
let you figure
just
it out.
did it.
Didn't even question you or say, hey, maybe I can't do this, maybe I could do that.
No
Just
email,
whatever.
phone call, just did it.
Okay, and then the other things is, again, this thing looks great, but then, wow, that's really cool.
That was
Then-
done by Cab Custom. I had this done by Cab Customs in Belgium.
Cap Customs in Belgium. So you had this ordered directly, sent to him. It's powder coated here.
No, it was laser cut in
Laser cut.
Belgium, and then unfinished sent over to Patrick, and then Patrick had these powder coated.
So for people who don't know Star Wars, you're wondering why is the pattern so weird? These are basically the wall patterns that are on the Star Destroyers, which just, it blows my, I would want, if I had this virtual pinball machine, I would do the exact same thing. Then again, there's like little random imperfections, like there's screw holes randomly all over this thing, these with no screws in it. Those are the things that I saw that are issues. This is like one of those pictures where the more you look at it, the more you find. Another thing that I thought was really off was, as you can see, this screw is not set flat, so it looked like it was just put in there without sinking it with a actual drill bit. And the same thing, and the screws are mismatched. Like, why wouldn't you, these look like sheetrock screws to me. I'm not sure what they are, but they look like sheetrock screws. Why wouldn't you make them match, and why wouldn't you make them look more professional? But again, I'm not a builder. I'm not, you know, I'm just giving my opinion on something that I think just looks bad once you finally look at it. Like there's the imperfection around the actual screw itself. You know, it's just not something that you want. You spend that amount of money on something, you kind of want it to be as perfect as can be, in my opinion. I mean, how do you feel?
Yeah, I agree.
So the artwork here is phenomenal. I love it. It's got that high-end gloss. This was from the original Star Wars pinball?
Yeah, there was a Data East machine, watch out, find it,
Yeah, I
made in the early 90s, and basically kind of used the same design. I thought it was nice, simple.
That just looks
Wanted that.
awesome.
Yeah.
But imagine if it was the front, just like it's supposed to be. It
Yeah.
would just look so much better. Okay? So again, the artwork I think looks phenomenal. You have it styled differently. I've seen these. I've seen it where they recess the pinball, the playfield is recessed and actually goes down. You've got it angled upwards. Why do you have it angled upwards?
There's differences in the V-pin community on this. Now there seems to be a trend to put the screen flush with the top of the cabinet, because there's newer editions of the software that you could change the perspective, and that's, I guess, according to some of the experts out there, it's easier to do with the screen flush to the top of the cabinet versus inset. And plus, maybe you get a little bit less reflections, maybe.
Yeah, I at first I thought that I wouldn't like it, but I do like it because you're focusing on the entire playfield when it's like this. Like it's just, it makes you, that looks like a cool pinball machine. It makes you kind of look
They are
up
cats.
to see everything, if that makes sense to the viewers at home. That I like the flow of it.
Yeah.
You're not looking down, you're not straightening your neck, you're looking straight, basically.
I think something happens too. There's less, like, I've seen it some of the other machines where inset, you get the reflection of the speaker lights down on the playfield.
I've seen that too, yeah, and that's why
I think
especially here,
that gap,
especially right here,
that gap with the LEDs prevents that.
Yes.
You know, like it takes on that reflection, so it's not directly on your playfield.
I like it.
Maybe, yeah.
I like it. I mean, look at that. That looks amazing.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't show as well at home, but here, it looks like he's literally floating 3D in space.
Yeah.
Like it looks great. It truly does. Now we have a coin door, which is awesome. You've got a volume knob, you've got the start, you've got pinball sucks. Don't know why that's there, but that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
You've got your plunger, right? So let's open this up, right? This opens up. Can you use actual coins?
I've never tried.
Okay. Okay. As we can see here, you've got a nice little volume knob. You've got credit. Do these buttons work?
Probably not all of them. This is a real, coin door for a real machine, but yeah, I don't know if they're all activated, or these ones too. Yeah, not sure.
And then I'm going to get inside, but I don't want to stick my phone in there because it's not, God forbid, a charger or static. Alrighty, so you want to go over what we got in here? I mean, it looks great, but as you can see, the PC is all the way in the back.
Yes.
So how do you actually get to the PC, Alan?
You have to take off the glass on the playfield,
Right.
and then you have to take off the LEDs, unscrew them,
Wonderful, that sounds like a pain
and
in the butt.
then take that off, and then you have to shift, supposedly, the TV kind of over, and then have maybe your friend hold the TV screen, and then you access the computer parts in the back.
So there's no trapdoor in the back to get to the PC, which
There is not.
should be possible. The PC should be. So this PC is not in its case. This isn't like a pre-built case PC. He actually put it together.
Yes.
With parts. Okay. So, which is fine. That's how most of these companies do it. They put it together, but it should still be on a solid wooden tray, which anchors it in, and it should be able to be slid in and out, which is what I've seen with all the other ones. What is this little white box right here?
That is a shaker motor.
Shaker motor, and this is and this is what we mean when we say actual
Yeah,
pinball
it's a stern,
parts, right?
stern shaker motor. Yep. You can see the solenoids here. The SSF, which is the surround sound feedback. You see those suckers on the side.
Right, and that makes it sound like the ball is rolling up and down the table.
Exactly, they're all around.
And then again, back there we have
So that's on the bottom there. That's facing down subwoofer. Yep.
which is pretty cool. I've
pretty
been
cool.
under this table the first time we filmed. It's loud.
And then that black kind of starfish looking thing behind the subwoofer. I think that's like tactile. That's like a transducer.
Okay. So how many solenoids? How many knockers? How many everything you got in here?
I think it's 8 solenoids in total.
Right.
And
was there anything here that's supposed to be inside this kit that was not? Is there anything missing? Like, is there something like the tilt bob?
Yeah, the tilt bob. I think it has a digital tilt bob, but what was missing is the I don't know where they usually put them, but the knocker. Exactly, the knocker. I don't know if they put it in the backglass or this main cabinet, but yeah, it does not include a knocker.
I thought he didn't put the knocker because it catches fire.
That's right. He said it catches fire.
Okay.
And the machine would explode or something.
Yes, which isn't safe, but I mean, I know other companies with knockers.
Yeah, I'd love to hear in comments people's experiences with exploding, burning knockers.
Yeah, if you have one of these virtual pinball machine tables at home, and you have knockers in there, please.
Has it exploded?
Has it exploded? And please let us know in the comments your experience with those particular parts.
And then there's some other. You want to take a look at some other stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which way am I going?
Yeah, just inside there. All right. So what's cool about this? In the back, you see those three kind of. They're still like mushroomy looking thing.
Yeah,
with the clear
it looks like you're making a run on the Death Star. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So they're actually real pop bumpers,
which is pretty cool.
So they're connected to solenoids, but it just gives a real sound of the ball hitting.
Which again, that's awesome.
Yeah,
you want that. Like that's pretty. I don't know any other people that are using actual pinball parts like Lab Arcades is. Yeah. Which again would draw me to it because that's something different.
Yeah. And then in the back there is a blower motor. See that just maybe have to tilt that a little bit. Yeah. See that in the center. That's a blower. So that in certain games they'll activate that, like Whirlwind, cool. And you'll have the air blowing in your face.
So you basically got all the features that they offer.
Yep.
You basically got all the features that they offer, all of the hot features that all these companies are offering. Blower motors, There's supposed to be several different volume controls and things like that, right? Like I've seen the Rec Room World, they have several different volume controls. Then I saw the Visual Pinball guys, they have several different volume controls and individual this and that. And when we spoke to Tim, that was one of the things that he said was it's missing a lot of buttons, right?
Yes, it is.
Even though it looks like there's a lot. You've got 2 on the side here, the 2 there, and then the 2 more there, and there's a few at the bottom for the reset.
Yeah, the comments are like, I think like a launch button is missing, and then the extra game or extra ball, there's a separate. So generally, yeah, V-pins do include more buttons on them. So sometimes you have to like remap or use one button for multiple functions.
Right. And again, there's that high gloss. The artwork is great. The artwork came out fantastic. It looks wonderful. I love the side rails. I love the chaser. I wish the chasers were on the front, like we said. And then here we have the back. Now, as I said when we first were filming this, he's got one lock-in mechanism here. I personally think it's safer to have several because God forbid this back box comes down like a guillotine. Good Lord, the calamity that would cause. Here he's got the LED lights in the back, pretty cool. Oh, we can access this from the front, correct?
Access what?
The inside here. So
yeah, exactly.
Look at that. So this is the inside of the back box. And this is all of the speaker systems, and what are these things?
I think they're amplifiers, if I'm not mistaken.
Very nice. And these are the speakers, right?
And then, yeah, these are flipper fidelity speakers. So these are kind of
high-end,
real pen,
really good pinball speakers. Yep. And as you see, it's got the Stern style speaker grills, which are just dope, as we saw before when it was on. So again, in my opinion, and in most other virtual pinball cabinets, when they put the PC in the back, there's usually an access hatch for back here.
Yeah.
This is where you should be able to access this, so that way nobody wants to remove all of this crazy stuff just to get to it. Or it would make it easier to access. I've seen other companies where this comes completely out, like a Stern pinball machine. So here you've got a couple of vents, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, what's interesting here, the back almost mimics a real pinball machine, but in real pinball machines, it's much easier to lift the playfield.
Correct.
But for V-pins, you got to access the computer, which usually you do from the back.
Yes. So there should have been a trap door. Unfortunately, there isn't. So accessing this PC is a headache, which could be a reason, and I'm not sure, but it may be a reason as to why he hasn't come and fixed everything, because who knows if you can actually...
Yeah.
You've never done it, so you don't know if it's possible.
No.
And here's the bottom of the machine. You see we have a bunch of different buttons here. This green button on the left-hand side does what exactly?
Which one, Vita?
That one.
This one. This is turns it on and off.
On and off, and then the one in the middle.
This it's like a back out button.
Okay. And as you see, it's got the LED lights at the bottom. It's got fans, which are pretty cool. This is the subwoofer. Okay, he's got more vent holes. It's real wood, as you can see. Again, the craftsmanship on a lot of it is fantastic. But the parts where he missed, he really missed. And I see here you've got a 2 terabyte V-pin backup drive.
I do.
That's the extra, or that's the actual V-pin drive?
That's the V-pin drive I'm running it.
Very nice. And it's got this Stern. These are kind of like powder coated. These are like Stern authentic kind of legs, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hear those knockers kicking in.
Yeah.
See, so it looks and sounds like an actual pinball machine. I mean, if you saw this at home, you would think this is a straight up pinball machine. Like, look at the ball.
The blower motor's kicking in too.
Where does it blow out of? Up top?
Right, that little center small piece under the lower screen.
Right here, so it hits you in the chest. Okay,
yeah.
That's very nice.
I think it's like it feels like a 3D print.
Okay. It looked like Velcro, it didn't look smooth, you know?
Yeah.
One ring to rule them all.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Frodo!
It's a little bit different interest too.
I like the red. I love the LED lights.
Yeah.
Like it's a great machine.
Yeah.
You know, how many How many tables did this come with? Did it come with a table drive?
Without me.
No.
Okay, but you knew that ahead of time, right? So you knew
Yeah.
you would have to secure it. Did he have contacts or links with people who could get you a drive, or you had to
No.
do that on your own?
I do it on my own. Yeah.
Okay. So did it have any tables with it at all?
Yeah, like maybe 10 or so sample tables.
10 or so sample tables. So you got a $14,000 machine with 10 or so sample tables. Awesome.
That's right.
Where did you end up getting your drive from?
I got it from Tim at visualpinball.net.
I'll put the link in the description. Again, if anybody has any of these virtual pinball machines, please let us know. We'd like to know what yours does, where you got yours from, and what you think of this one. Man, I love the chaser up the side. I just wish it was in the front too.
Yeah.
It just would add so much to
Yeah.
it. It's too bad that he missed that.
Yeah.
Captain Picard,
All right. Let's see.
make it show number one. Jean-Luc Picard.
Please wait. I am now loading up the game.
Yeah. Next Generation was good. I like that one.
I like how she talks dirty to you. Arabian Night.
Yeah. This is a great table. Aaron bonus.
Woo. He's in the money. I love the speaker grills, dog.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Those speaker grills are the bomb, man. I love the lighting around it. I love the speaker grills.
Taylor shows up. So I guess that's a shaker motor.
Sounds like I'm about to fly out of here.
I know. Yeah, I guess these pinball machines got to be built for like abuse, right? You're tilting.
Yeah, and you're banging it.
They're
and you're tilting
they're
it,
getting
you're
shaken
slamming
by
into
these
it.
friggin' things. Yeah.
And it's expensive as I mean, not expensive, heavy. It's
heavy, yeah.
400 pounds almost.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it looks like a real table to me.
Yeah.
Like, look at that. It looks like the lamp is actually spinning.
All right, there you go.
It's being very defiant.
Yeah.
I mean, that Star Destroyer looks like it's there.
Yeah.
Use the force.
That's I guess BB-8.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait, is the ball BB-8?
Yeah.
Nice save. That was nice. Dated, old school.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah, hit the Death Star. All right. Got hit a bunch of times, I think. Ow. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's pretty high resolution too. Yeah.
No, dude, that's what I was.
Yeah.
The picture before, when it was just Vader standing
Yeah.
there in the distance, that looked immaculate.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it shows at the end because I really like the way that looked.
There we go.
Sounds like it's farting.
Yeah, it does. Oh.
Han Solo and Carbonite. So Alan, give me your final thoughts because this is your virtual pinball machine. So what are your final thoughts? Was it worth what you paid for it?
So, beautiful machine, in many ways well constructed. On negative, there were just certain things that were on the build spec, and I was expecting that were not included.
And at least to have been told that they weren't included and to be given the reasons why they weren't included, not just have it show up and surprise.
Yep.
If you're considering a high-end virtual pinball table from Lab Arcades, my advice, be prepared for a long wait and don't expect to get exactly what you paid for. And I'm basing this opinion, and that's what this is my opinion on it, off of my friend Alan's experience. All right, guys, what do you think? Would you be happy with this pinball table? Please let us know in the comments. And if you like this video, give us a like and a subscribe, and please share it because that's what's going to get our videos seen by everyone and everything. Catch you guys in the next one. Alan and Vito from Perfect Storm Gaming, out.